has become a big wellness trend this year. The cannabis compound has been touted as a wonder drug able to stop pain, promote relaxation, and ease various body tissues. Now some spas around the country are taking their treatments to a new level by adding it to their massages. CBS News' Kenneth Craig has more.
Brianna Arrington spends her life being active. She's an actor and a personal trainer. So when she recently injured a muscle in her hip, it was a major setback.
An injury will definitely not only not allow me to do my job, but also it takes a little bit of me away, a little bit of me dies.
Physical therapy didn't help, so a few months ago she turned to massages using a cream infused with CBD, and she quickly saw results.
I'm here, twice a month, and I'm back doing the things that I like to do, back at Taekwondo, back lifting, using my body in dynamic ways.
The compound is derived from cannabis, but does not contain THC, the chemical that gets you high. And advocates believe it may be the answer for all kinds of health problems.
CBD is great for relieving inflammation and pain, and it's also good for relaxation and reduction of anxiety and stress.
CBD is popping up in drinks, snacks, and even cosmetics, but experts say it's happening faster than the science can catch up.
We're still at the beginning of trying to understand what CBD does in the body.
Dr. Margaret Haney at Columbia University Medical Center is internationally recognized for her research on cannabis. She says while she's excited by CBD's potential, right now there is little evidence to support its medical claims.
We don't know as scientists if it gets absorbed, how it's acting, what dose one needs. So there's so many unanswered questions. I need placebo-controlled evidence to be convinced.
Brianna believes it's only a matter of time.
It works great for me. It may not work great for everybody. If I feel better, I'm going to take that as a win.
And she says that's all the evidence she needs. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
Headline, Dave Chappelle drunk on stage in Detroit. Well, if you saw it, I wasn't drunk. I had smoked some reefer with some rappers. Yeah. I don't know if you know anything about hanging out with rappers, but their weed is very strong. Stronger than what I was accustomed to. The article goes on to say I was booed off stage, which is also incorrect. I was booed. I did not leave. It was a long bump. It was a fucking nightmare. 2 puffs of weed, that's all it was. 2 puffs. I never had that happen. When I take 2 puffs of weed, I looked at the guy next to me, I was like, I'm gonna bomb, nigga, I can feel it. And that guy called my name, Dave Chappelle. Niggas was like,
100% built to code? That's a good question too, Matt, and this house is built 100% to code. The owners had to work very closely with the Township of Landing to make sure that everything was done properly to code and so that everybody was happy.
How long did it take to build this magnificent house? And better yet, were there any problems that the builders faced during construction?
So it took them about 2 years to build the house, and I would say one of their biggest hurdles was getting the township to understand the concept of building using hemp. It took them 6 months to even get an envelope engineer to come in to even look at the project. Not only that, but sourcing the hemp and having the hemp delivered was also quite a big hurdle in the process.
Sourcing was the problem? Bro, we live here on the West Coast.
You'd think.
All right, give the viewers at home a cool feature in this home.
Aside from the living edge wood accents, it's a really cool refrigerator. So this fridge actually is located on the north side of the house, which allows it to be cool all the time. So they have a little tiny air conditioner that only turns on when it needs to, but the rest of the time it's naturally cool.
All right, Gary, there's a ton of windows in this house, which means tons of natural light. Now, what things come into play here to keep the house cool in the summer and warm in the winter?
So what you guys see in the walls, this white, is actually a non-toxic lime plaster. Behind this plaster is the hempcrete itself. The hempcrete is a fantastic insulator. Now this non-toxic lime plaster is actually vapor permeable. So it stays cool in the summer, stays warm in the winter.
All right. So, Gary, aside from having any farm animal you could want out here, what's one of the things you love about this home?
Well, I gotta show you outside. Take a look. So this property is situated at the end of a no-through street, as I said, but it's 5 acres. 5 acres of farmable land. They got over 80 crops and spices already growing on the property currently right now.
Why do you even have to leave and go to the supermarket?
You don't.
Now, the one thing I love about this property is its farmhouse meets West Coast contemporary. Gary, how many properties in Canada are like this?
Like this one? The answer is 0, because this one is one of a kind. But how many homes are actually made using the hempcrete material? That was a tough stat to find, but it said around 50 approximately in Canada are currently using the hempcrete for the building of it.
Awesome, Gary. That's some great information. One of 50 homes in Canada like.
You were living with her?
Yep.
Living with? I was paying the bills. She was out of work.
I'm wondering how you afford all those gym shoes.
She messed up 1.5 pounds of my weed. If you look, if you look on page 2,
I'm gonna ask the authorities to give you a pass, even though you're admitting.
I'm being honest though. That's back in November.
Bring weed to one of the busiest airports in the country. Los Angeles International Airport changed its policy, allowing travelers 21 or older to stroll onto their flights carrying cannabis. KSBY's Kelsey McFarland checked into how this changes security and what local travelers think. She joins us live in San Luis Obispo with more. Kelsey?
Richard, this policy is tied to Proposition 64, which legalized pot in California. But bringing weed to the airport won't be that simple. It's still illegal under federal law, and TSA says they plan to treat the drug the same way they always have. LAX has a new policy allowing travelers 21 and up to carry weed in their carry-on or checked bags.
I can't take certain cosmetics of a certain size on an airplane. Drugs? It's insane.
If it's a medical concern, everyone brings their prescriptions on, that's fine. When you first told me, I thought, they're not going to be smoking it on the plane, please, because it just has such a particular odor.
There are limits. Passengers won't be allowed to toke one up on the flight or in any public place. And any more than 28.5 grams of marijuana or 8 grams of concentrated marijuana is too much. Some local travelers say any amount is too much.
I'm allergic to cannabis, so when someone has it on their person, like they just smoked it or they have it in their bag, I react to it. It makes me sick.
While LA police give it the green light, don't expect to sail through TSA with weed. A spokeswoman for the agency says TSA's response to the discovery of marijuana is the same in every state and at every airport, regardless of whether marijuana has been or is going to be legalized. That means if a TSA officer discovers an
headline, Dave Chappelle drunk on stage in Detroit. Well, if you saw it, I wasn't drunk. I had smoked some reefer with some rappers. Yeah. I don't know if you know anything about hanging out with rappers, but their weed is very strong. Stronger than what I was accustomed to. The article goes on to say I was booed off stage, which is also incorrect. I was booed. I did not leave. It was a long bump. It was a fucking nightmare. 2 puffs of weed, that's all it was. 2 puffs. I never had that happen. When I take 2 puffs of weed, I looked at the guy next to me, I was like, I'm gonna bomb nigga, I can feel it. And that guy called my name, Dave Chappelle. Niggas was like,
Tell a hater I said, pussy. Tell your bitch I said, me. Ass up, face down. One night only, I'm from out of town. Pound new rules, we ain't waiting on it. And if that pussy good, we spin cake on it.